Hi guys, it's been a minute since I've done a sit down, get ready with me video. I have been thinking about this video for so long and I just really wanted to share with you guys what's been happening in my life. And yeah, I'm just gonna get ready for dinner because I have my mom and my brother in town and we're going to a new Lebanese spot in town. My brother's huge on Arabic food, so anyways, I'm gonna be talking about lots of different topics. I have a few things noted down on my phone. And I'm going to be trying out a few products that I got in the US. So I'm going to use KVD, Kat Von D foundation. And I got this in the US as well because I've been hearing how good it is. Like, I'm a huge fan of full coverage foundations just because I feel a bit insecure about my flushed cheeks and stuff like that. And I get easily red in my face. I know it doesn't maybe look like that now, but you can see my chin and stuff is a bit red. And the more not socially anxious, but the more flustered or nervous or whatever excited I get, it really shows on my face, and I'm not a huge fan of how it looks. So anyways, this is, you know, almost that time of the month, so we're gonna have to hide those little, you know, spots here and there. And yeah, I've just been meaning to chat to you about so many things. I don't even know where to start. I guess before we get to the recent things, I kind of want to touch base on all the other stuff that's kind of happened a while ago. So as you guys know, I recently went to Jerusalem, Tel Aviv and stuff, and I was so nervous to share that vlog. And if you go in the comments of that video, you'll see why, because I knew there's gonna be people that are gonna be very divided, and I was very intentional with the way I spoke, not to show any side or anything like that. And if you watch the vlog in its entirety, which is an hour and a half, I think, you will see that I was confused. I was really confused about everything there. It was just very emotionally challenging trip for me, and everyone says that it's it's a normal kind of feeling when you visit that place, that you feel like that. And so for me, I don't know if it was what I went through or what, but something triggered this extremely unique rare condition for me while I was on that trip. Basically, I was by the Dead Sea and I posed with my tongue out, right? Just randomly, no, I didn't think anything of it. And then when I came back to Dubai, I think maybe 3 or 4 days later, I was brushing my teeth, just going to bed basically, right? And I look at my tongue and I'm like, that's weird. Is it swollen? Are my teeth pressing against it? I started seeing some marks on my tongue and I was like, what is that? And for a minute I got a bit nervous, but I didn't think too much of it. I was like, oh, it's just gonna go away, you know, maybe it's just my teeth, maybe I slept on it, or I don't know. I didn't think too much about it, right? And then a few days later I'm like, wow, this is getting bigger and bigger. And so basically there were these spots that just kept appearing on my tongue and they were just spreading, and I was like, oh my gosh. I started freaking out because my grandma passed away from tongue cancer, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this what it is, right? And then I was like, wait, let me just quickly research this, because I initially didn't think of even going to the doctor, smart me. Anyway, so I researched it and it turns out I have something called geographic tongue right after my trip. And it is a condition that literally affects maybe I don't know, a few % of the population in the entire world. And right now I also have it, and please don't get grossed out, but I'll show you. Do you see? It looks like it's a sore on my tongue, but it's actually the papillae missing, and it's kind of sensitive. So there was one point on the trip when I went to Vegas where I was actually in pain. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can go out. And it was on this side, and then 4 or 5 days later it disappears and then it happens on the other side of your tongue. And I went to a pharmacy and I was like, is there something I can do? And the pharmacist was like, no, actually this is just called geographic tongue, you cannot really do anything about it. I was like, so what about the pain? It's like, well, you can get a mouthwash that helps with you know, painful gums and things like that. So I bought that and it kind of helped, but then it didn't really make it go away. So I've been dealing with this for about a month and a half now, I think. I don't know. I can't explain why I got it after this emotional trip, but I guess I have a new condition, and I already have vitiligo, which is also super rare, and now I have a geographic tongue. So not only spots on my hands, but now also spots on my tongue. And it's so funny because my dog also has black spots on his tongue since he was a puppy, so I guess we're just a weird spotted family. Anyways, so foundation is on. As you can see, it's very full coverage. So for concealer, I'm actually not sure which one to use because I got two concealers. So this is Pat McGrath and this is the Kosas concealer that's been quite viral for some time. I think I'm gonna go with Pat McGrath. I'm feeling a bit more extra today. So let's do this concealer today. It's so nice. It's like in a glass bottle. Really, really nice. I don't know what is the shade. They matched me at Sephora. I think it's called Sublime. I'm not sure, but I'll show you how it looks. So this is just like one of the things basically that I want to tell you, because I think the one that was the weirdest one I feel thus far was actually when I came back from Tel Aviv. Actually, hold on. In Tel Aviv, I was questioned like I was the biggest criminal. FYI, they scanned every single item at the airport. I've been to like hundreds of airports in my life, but this, oh my gosh, I don't want to ever experience that again. That was intense. Like they literally asked me, they're like, who's your boss? How often do you see the boss? What do you do? Like they ask you where's your name from, what holidays you practice, and I'm like, what? And it's all because they've had some kind of attack decades ago or something. I don't want to scare you away, but the experience at Tel Aviv airport is really intense. So yeah, then I get home, right? Same day from my trip. And this is probably the most eerie, not eerie, but like fascinating and in a way mind-blowing thing that's happened to me in terms of my faith. So first of all, I went to the Holy Land because of my faith journey. I wanted to learn more, and I started doubting Jesus on that trip because there's, you know, so many people that are there and they're like, oh, so what faith are you? And they kind of like know your reasoning behind visiting, you know, the Holy Land, and they're like, they go with that narrative for you, like the tour guides and stuff. So like, I don't mean to badmouth them, but it's actually what happened to me and my friend Andy. Like we literally went on a couple of tours and they're like, oh, so what, like, you know, what brings you here? Like, is it, you know, are you Christian? And I'm like, yeah. And then they kind of like tell you what you want to hear in a way. And so I started kind of like doubting a little bit myself because there was one person specific, I don't want to say who, but basically they were like very, you know, pro Judaism, and I kind of don't really know anything about Judaism. So I was like, wow, maybe we did create, you know, this religion around Jesus. And I started doubting myself and I felt so bad and so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this. Like I came here, I should be feeling way more reassured, and what's happening is I'm actually feeling way worse. And so, drum roll, I get home to Dubai that same day from the airport, right? My boyfriend picks me up, I go home, and I'm boiling water for pasta, right? I'm gonna make pesto pasta for dinner. And I'm about to gash the water, right? I'm taking the pot and I'm gashing it in the sink. And somehow, you know, after a flight, whatever, I didn't have a single drink on the flight, nothing, so I was completely sober. It's not like I was being clumsy. I just literally was doing things so like, you know, I don't know, robotically in a way. And I started gashing the water, and somehow that water just like didn't really get, you know, in the sink. It got onto my foot. And you guys, I wish I could tell you the pain that I felt in that moment, but I'm not gonna lift my leg up right now. But basically on my foot I have a mark, and honestly I feel like it's one of those stories that people tell in their testimonies or something, but I have a mark right now because there was a scar like this big on my foot and a scab for a few weeks. I couldn't wear any closed shoes, and it's in the exact same spot where Jesus was nailed, like when he was crucified, right? And I was like, initially I didn't think about it. It only like kind of occurred to me 2 days later when I actually got the scab, when it formed already. And I was like, wait, this spot on my foot is like, it reminds me of something. And then I was like, oh my god, like, is this a sign? Like, do not doubt me. I was like, this is insane, you know? The same day I returned from the Holy Land with all those doubts in my head, I was like, how is that even possible? But I guess with God everything's possible, and I just wanted to share that. I don't know if you're a believer, but this is what happened to me. I wanted to share that with you because I really think this was the most powerful thing that's happened to me this year. And there's been so many other like weird and funny ways how God worked in my life this year. So another thing, I'm just gonna quickly go with blush, sorry. Another thing, this is the Rare Beauty blush. I actually didn't get this in the US, I got it here in Dubai, but I haven't been really using it. So another thing is, I no longer, you know, am working for the company that I used to work for. I'm currently like looking for something else. And basically in the previous job, right, there was somebody who asked me to bring them home, you know, like I thought, okay, yeah, sure, no worries, just like a one-time thing, right? But it turns out that this person assumed that I'm just gonna be dropping them just because we live nearby. And I was like, I don't think I feel comfortable with that. Like, how do I get out of this situation? Because like I didn't really want to like say, hey, do you mind like paying for petrol? Because it was my time. And like I really don't mind doing this kind of like a favor once or twice. Like, it's not a big deal, but like I don't want to be somebody's driver. Like, you know, I worked hard to get a car and to have like my privacy, and just like, you know, after the whole day in the office you kind of just want to be by yourself. You don't really want to like be chatting to one of your colleagues for another 40 minutes because I live far out now. I don't live in the city. Anyways, long story short, 2 days into this agreement that I didn't know I got into, my car breaks down on the highway. God was like, listen girl, I see you struggling, you don't know how to get out of the situation, let me help you. And I was like, what? And again, it took me a couple of days to realize that there was divine intervention, and it wasn't, you know, something that just happened because my car is old or whatever, because my car just came out of service and like inspection and everything like 2 weeks before that. So it was running perfectly, and I had to sell my car because it's completely ruined now. Like, there was no getting out of that situation. Like, they had to change the engine. I was like, no, I don't want a car with an engine that's like not, you know, gonna probably work very well. I was just fascinated by everything that's been happening lately. It's just insane. One thing after another, one thing after another. So now I'm in the process of getting a new car, which is very exciting. I try to use kind of like my social media for a discount, but that didn't really work. So I'm gonna be paying for a brand new car this time, because if you guys know, a year ago, well actually a year and a half ago, I bought a second-hand car for the first time, my very first car. And yeah, it served me for a year, and then it died on the road as I was driving 120 kilometers an hour. So that was pretty scary, but I'm okay. I'm safe and sound, as you can see. So yeah, everything turned out well. But yeah, I'm excited for my new car. It should arrive sometime in July, and I'm gonna show it to you as well. Well, not maybe show it off, but just kind of like vlog maybe from the car. You guys know I love vlogging from my car, so can't wait for those vlogs. So next item that I got in the US is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Brow Lift Gel. I don't have one of those like slanted brushes, but I have one that is like straight, so I'm gonna try to make it work with this one for now. I've used it for the first time yesterday, and I really like it. Before that I had the Benefit Gel and Charlotte Tilbury one. They were both good, but they were kind of old, so it was time to like, you know, change the products. So since we're speaking kind of like about spiritual stuff, I want to share with you also a few things about like dreams. I don't know if you guys are into that and stuff, but I feel like dreams are such a powerful way to not reflect about your life, but just to like comprehend like what's happening in your subconscious. I had this wonderful dream today. Actually, I've been dreaming quite a lot lately, and today's dream was specifically something that like really reassured me in this confusing, you know, like life situations that I keep finding myself in. I remember a lot of details from my dream. Sometimes I remember that I'm like swinging above water, or like I'm on some train and I see like very clearly the wooden floor and like the sunlight going into the train, and like weird details like that, but I don't really remember the whole dream sometimes. But today's dream I remember quite vividly, and I was so fascinated because it just kind of made me feel good. I woke up and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I was in a plane, right? As you guys know, I was a flight attendant, and I remember being specifically on the Airbus 380, which is a double-decker plane for those of you that don't know. And I remember just like hearing captain's announcement saying, cabin crew, take your seats, there's gonna be turbulence in like 1 minute, like a huge bump. Like, I remember that word bump for some reason. And I see this girl, and she's like not like caring or paying attention, and she's like standing and just like totally oblivious to the whole situation. And I'm like, sit down, like I'm screaming at her, and she's not sitting down, and I am strapped on my seat and I'm like holding for my dear life. Next thing I know, right, like I don't know whether there was a bump, I don't remember anything, but next thing I know, we're in the clouds, and it's all like so full of clouds, so dense. All you see is clouds everywhere you look. Long story short, I just see that it's like a waterfall, but like that waterfall is also shaped like clouds. So like I said, everything's clouds, and I'm looking down and I see that it's a huge drop, like thousands of feet type of drop, and it's all in the clouds, so you don't really know where you would actually fall. And I look to my right and I see this girl's already falling, and she's like screaming, she's like, ah, you know, and I'm like, oh my god. And in real life, like I'm so scared of heights, so for me I'm like, oh my god. And then I say, God, I trust in you. And in that moment I felt such peace, and I jumped, and it didn't feel scary at all. I was almost feeling blissful as I was falling, and I was like, wow, this is crazy, you know. I woke up, I was feeling happy about the dream, so I don't know what to really like comprehend from the situation. I looked up what that dream means, and I thought it really resonates with my current life situation, but it was just really magical the way dreams really try to say something about your life, you know. Another dream that I remember from this month was super strange. It was 3 yellow cars. One of them was like a Lambo or something. Like, I'm not even a fan of sports cars. I don't know if you know this about me, but like I would never care what car you're driving. Anyways, I remember I had a dream with like 3 yellow cars, and one of them was like a Lambo, and I was looking, and the gap was like this in between the cars. They were parked so tightly. The other cars were like very kind of boring, and I don't know if it means that I was thinking that I'm the Lambo or what, but I just was like thinking, why are the gaps so like small? How did they park the cars next to each other? And I was just like looking at the Lambo, and I was so confused. So yeah, my dreams have been very wild lately, but I don't mind one bit. I think it's kind of cool to get some messages and try to decode them. So I'm just quickly applying a bit of darker eyeshadow underneath. I feel like it just really enhances my eyes. I also forgot to show you guys this Charlotte Tilbury flawless filter that is sold out everywhere. I was only able to get this mini version of it at Sephora. You know what, as you're going to check out at the counter, they have all like the small, you know, things. So I got this in my shade because my shade is just sold out everywhere. I checked in Dubai and stuff, but I have not tried it properly, so I cannot give my feedback. But I also bought a versed version from Target, which is kind of like half the price, but I want to compare them and see which one I like more, so maybe I'll share it sometime in the future. But now let's go to mascara. So I really wanted to try this mascara, and I unfortunately got the waterproof version, and I didn't really know that the waterproof mascaras are like a little bit different. I was just like, oh yeah, it's just like waterproof, whatever. But they do feel different. I don't know, it's just very different texture in my opinion. So I got the Sky High waterproof version because that's the only one they had in the Target or CVS that I went to. And it's such a mission to remove it. I mean, I know you need to use an oil kind of based cleanser, and it kind of helps to remove it, but I feel like it doesn't really do the job that well. So it's nice, but I don't really think it's one of my favorite mascaras that I ever bought. If any of you have it, can you let me know like what you think? I think it's okay. I don't think it's, you know, mind-blowing, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm just gonna quickly apply a bit of this Charlotte Tilbury Pingasm blush. I finally was able to get my hands on it as well in the US. It's literally like sold out every time I went here in Dubai. It's so pretty. Oh, I love it. Just for like extra dewiness, since I didn't really put anything underneath to make my skin more dewy. We're all about that dewy look. Also with Dubai heat, the sweat comes through easily, so I don't know how much dewiness do I actually really need in my life. Anyways, I'm looking quite peachy. By the way, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. I recently went to Avril Lavigne's concert in Prague, so I literally came back from the US and it was insane. I think I spent 1 day in Dubai and I flew to Europe just for the concert. I stayed there for like 2 nights and I flew back. It was so worth it. She's like my favorite childhood singer, so I think it's probably one of those, you know, opportunities that happens so rarely. Like, she's not been on tour for I think a decade or so. So I was very excited to see her. It was my second time, and I just remember seeing her when I was a teen and seeing her now, and there was like all these, you know, grown-up people there that are like my age, and I'm like, oh, we used to all love her when we were teens. So it's like just super cute night. I'm actually gonna skip the highlighter since I'm so dewy, so I think I'm just gonna go straight to the lips. I am gonna use Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude a lip pencil. And for the gloss, I'm gonna be trying out Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. This is the first time I'm gonna be using it, so let's see if it looks good. I've heard really nice reviews about it. Ooh, so juicy. So we're actually done. I'm not gonna do anything more for my makeup. I'm just gonna apply the Huda Beauty translucent powder that I got in the US, since it was sold out here as well. I've tried it once or twice now. I really like this powder because it is really mattifying and it really blends your pores, as everyone on TikTok says. But I also do like the Laura Mercier one that I have still, and I'm yet to finish it. But the thing with this one is actually it's a bit more moisturizing and it's a bit more dense. I feel like this one is really cool for that matte effect. So yeah, what else did I want to share with you guys? Oh, I have some exciting news that I actually just found out about today. So I've been confirmed for a Louis Vuitton show in Kuwait. And this is really huge for me because like I've not really worked with any high-end brand like this. So I got booked for like a, I don't know if it's a fair or a presentation, but it's like a 4-hour thing, and it's for 2 nights. So I think we're gonna be doing like jewelry, or I'm not quite sure actually. But the moment I heard Louis Vuitton, I was like, whoa, that would be cool if they selected me, and they ended up picking me. So I actually just applied for a visa this afternoon before I started filming this video. So fingers crossed that the next video is going to be from Kuwait. I would love to take you with me if I'm allowed to film anything there. Yeah, it would be super fun. Actually, before we go, I'm just going to quickly add Kiko Smart eyeshadow to brighten my eyes a little bit more. Instead, I'm just going to add a bit of shimmery eyeshadow in my inner corner of the eye. I feel it like just really wakes up your eyes. I don't know if you can see any difference, but I do. And just a little bit under the brow. Love it. There we go. That is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this chat to get ready with me. I know it was all over the place. This is how we roll on this channel. And I cannot wait to chat to you in my next video. I hope it is from Kuwait. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Bye.